Hello friends and welcome back for episode 46 of our Terraria 1.3 Let's Play. Today is finally the big day. We're going to take on the Moon Lord once and for all. The battle for everything that we hold dear will take place in this episode. And, well, after 45 episodes of preparation for this moment, I figured why not cap it off with a little bit more preparation. Actually, it's pretty simple to implement stuff, though, and stuff that's going to bolster anybody's arena for fighting just about anybody, whether that be the Moon Lord or Plantera or, well, I guess some of this stuff you gotta take underground, which might be a little annoying, but thankfully we're gonna do it right here on our own little platform arena that we've had set up for ages. So the first thing I'm gonna do is extend it out a little bit, at least over to this tree, and then maybe we'll we probably won't cut that down, actually, that's gonna be annoying. We're just gonna extend it out for now. The more room you have to strafe back and forth, the better. The Moon Lord is really big on, well, really big. He's just really big. He takes up a lot of space, quite literally. You will see, the dude is massive. He takes up pretty much the whole screen, and when he wants to get in your face, you don't have a lot of say in the matter. The one thing we can do, though, is try to maximize our chances of, you know, when the inevitable happens and we take damage, we want to be able to fight back, and hopefully be in a position where we can get a little bit of health back in us without having to do the crazy cycling business that I did with Austin. I wish I had this platform just right up flush with the top of this house. But yeah, we had this setup where I was teleporting back and forth, and that's not really plausible to do when you've got just me in this situation. Also, before I forget, I freaking knew this was here. There's a hotbar lock button on the left side. It's so tiny, though, and I forgot it was there. Move it over to the right side, and then people will see it more. I don't know. Sorry. I was complaining last episode that this didn't exist, and it's right there. Alright, so what we're going to do to get our health back is we're going to go in our statues area, and we're going to go grab, I'll say, all 4 of these heart statues. Now, why would we want to go grab a statue, and what would we want to do with a statue? Well, these things are actually very useful in ways that you might not expect. What we can do with this guy is we can actually wire it up, and it will drop little hearts for me all over the place. We're going to need to grab a few tools, though, to make this possible. And we're going to put one staggered, you know, every so often, so that way wherever we are on the platform, hopefully right below us should be some hearts that are dropping in a little pile. So there we go, 4 heart statues down. It's not as simple as just putting them down, though. Like I said, we got to wire them up. So in order to do that, we're going to go up to our wire lady over here. She's got all the goods, so we're going to grab a wrench. I didn't even see how much that was. 2 gold? Yeah, no big deal these days. We're going to grab a whole pile of, well, very expensive wire. This stuff is useful for a long time, though, so I'm going to grab a lot of it. And what else do we need from here? Probably nothing else. I think that's it. So we got some wire, we've got a wrench, and now we're going to need to make the timers. Now, the timers are what's going to tell the game how often to drop hearts, and also give us the ability to toggle our, you know, ability to drop hearts on and off. What do we do to make that? Well, we've got some bars of gold, and we've got some bars of iron, as well as some chains. The bars of iron are in case I run out of chains, so I can make more. But what we need to do right now is make a golden watch. Now, you can make watches of different types. There's an iron, a tungsten, and a gold watch, if I remember correctly, and they go 5, 3, and 1 seconds, respectively. The gold ones being the fastest. There might be a cooldown, though, on the timer's ability to drop hearts, so it might not even matter, but I always just make the gold ones, because why not have the fastest timer? And I need a table. Yeah, there we go, there's a table. So there we go, there's a gold watch. It's 10 gold bars and 1 chain, so we've got more than enough chains to go around. We need 1 watch per timer, and, well, we've got 4 heart statues, so 4 watches is appropriate. And it looks that I've crafted enough chains and gold bars and everything that we're going to be good to go. I don't need to make any more resources. So there we go. We got 4 gold watches. Now, those are not going to be the timers directly. You've got one more step to this, and the step involves these wires. We need to take a gold watch and 1 of those right here, and you can craft that, I guess, just at any old crafting table. Gold watch plus 1 wire equals 1 second timer. We're just going to go ahead and craft all 4 of those. Very nice. Now, we're not going to need the chains or the bars anymore, but I'll fix that in a second. So let's go ahead and drop these next to each one of these heart statues. Doesn't really matter how close they are. I tend to just put them directly next to them, so there's no confusion about where the timer is in contrast to the statues. I imagine if you had a pile of different statues next to each other, it could be kind of confusing then. And we're going to go ahead and take our wrench, and we're just going to go ahead and wire these up. The fact that we've got 228 more wires means I don't have to worry at all about this stuff. By wiring something up, all I mean is I'm taking a line, dragging it from the timer to the base of the statue. I don't even think I had to make that much wire. I think just a little bit less is fine. And then we go and right-click it, and it will start creating hearts. It's as simple as that. It's a small little fix that you can make that is really very valuable, I'd say. You know, value proposition is incredibly high for this. For what you get out of it. And you got to let these all turn on, let them all filter through their hearts for a bit. And then when you're running around, you want to make sure you don't accidentally pick them up when you don't want them. But no big deal. That's done. Heart statues are done. Why don't I have my heart lamps anymore? We need to go put those back. Or lanterns, rather, whatever the case may be. I don't think we need to wire anything else up, so I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff in my piggy bank, because you never know when you're going to need to wire or unwire something. So I like having this on call in case I need to grab it from a weird place. We're going to put the wire cutter, we're going to put the wrench, and we're going to put the wires all in there. Very good, that's all done. Now I can go ahead and put... Well, actually, before I put the chains back, let's just see what our situation is for lanterns. And those guys can go ahead and disappear into the ether. Where would I have put heart lanterns? Probably in lighting? I'm going to guess I don't have them anymore. I think I brought them all into Terraria realm, and I just never went back and picked them back up again. Shouldn't be a big deal, because I should have more than enough hearts to make a ton more. I think I only had 4 slots for them underneath the world, or underneath the arena, rather. 1, 2, 3, and we'll make another one down here just to make it rounded out. And I know I said don't pick those up, but whatever. So I'm just going to make this. Apparently, if you hammer the bottom of platforms, you can make them so they're placeable again. Not a huge concern for me right now, though. We'll just do that, and then that'll let us drop them off. So you should be able to hang heart lanterns off the bottom of platforms. I put a thing there. It's not a big deal. Okay, so we need 4 chains and 1 heart per. We've got exactly enough to make everything we need. That turned out lovely. And now we can go ahead and leave the heart lanterns in Terraria World because, well, it's fine. We don't need to worry about them anymore. Okay, so that's like max regen that we can get easily. There are probably a couple other things I could do to min-max the situation. I could drag some honey up here, put a few little honey areas down, because they give you like, what is it, a 10 or a 30-second buff for having that around. You just got to dip into it every so often. I tend to forget to do that, though, so less useful for people like me that operate off of base instinct when they're in a fight situation. I could also make traps using a lot of the same tools. If I really wanted to, I could go ahead and wire up some stuff like that. What are these? Hollowed bars, tungsten. I guess the iron went back where it needed to go, so that's good. We could go ahead and make, like, spike traps or flamethrower traps, or, I don't know, there's probably a couple others. But I don't think I need to bother with that, especially with this particular boss. You'll see the way the hitbox work on him. It's really kind of awkward. This doesn't seem right. Is it the other way around, or is... Whatever, I'll look at it later. I don't remember the order the materials all go in. Okay, so we've got all that squared away. What do I want to do next? Well, before we actually approach the pink area over here, which is the nebula pillar, I'm just going to kind of look through all of my materials, make sure I've got all the right gear I want to have on. I've got my possessed hatchet. I'm going to be doing primary damage with the solar eruption. You know what we need to do is build a little bit of a housing situation because, well, I don't want to just straight up cheese the boss, but if I don't have some platforms to hide behind, we're going to have an awful time trying to fight this guy. It's just the fact of the matter, he shoots lasers everywhere, and if I don't have somewhere to stand, I'm going to take a lot of unnecessary damage. I want to minimize that as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is create these little mini houses, and you can't just build a platform up in the middle of the air, unfortunately, so I've got to build them off of the platform at the bottom. What I can do is... Oh, let's grapple onto that. I did switch my grapple, by the way. I forgot to mention that if I... Yeah, see, I switched over to the Thorn Hook after that drop from Terraria. I like having one that can grapple to multiple surfaces. Sometimes that helps you when you're trying to figure out a mineral situation. And basically what I'm going to do is make like a little upside down U shape or like a lowercase n right here. And then we're going to go ahead and put platforms across the bottom so that way I can quickly dip in and out of them without spending too much time. There's not a lot of attacks that'll come from the bottom of the situation, so I should be fine doing something like this. And then I can just kind of hang out in these and spam this guy right here up at him and around. I'm also going to put a few lights because, well, it's an odd situation the way this boss works, but he, like, makes it hard to see everywhere. So I want to make sure I have as much visibility as possible across all of these different areas. I really only am probably going to need 2 of these houses to go back and forth between, and I'd like to keep it roughly around the same height as the other one if I can, because I like that I can see the platform. When I'm standing here, I can see where the ground is directly under me. Alright, I don't know how I'm going to be able to estimate that quickly without measuring it. Let's see if there's any kind of guide marker I can use. So when I'm standing here, it is right around where my health bar is on the top of the bottom row. Okay, where does that put us over here? Let's just draw it up. And then we're going to build this one to the right. That's pretty close, maybe one more. And this is going to be for the floor, right? So then... why do I not have my platforms here already? Do you like this? No, it actually can go like one more higher, can't it? One more even still. There we go. Now they're perfectly even. A weird task, to be sure. It's really not necessary, but, you know, again, a little bit of an OCD tendency there, trying to make it match. Make it right and make it tight and make it awesome. You know, get it right, get it tight. Do it once. Measure once, cut twice. Don't do that. And how tall did I make it? Oh god, this could be just as hard. It's off the top by, like, what, 4 tiles? Why do I challenge myself in these strange ways that are completely meaningless? How tall is it in contrast to my character? 1, 2, 3. 3 down from the ceiling. So it's... grab it. Three down from the ceiling from here. Nope. What? Keep going. I don't know why I bother with this stuff. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, so it's roughly as tall. Now I'm gonna need to make more platforms, I think. I don't know how long I made it. Now we're just getting out of control here. We'll just do that one by eye, because, I mean, none of this really matters at all. I'm gonna say it was that long. Does that work for you guys? I hope it does. Alright, then we'll just torch it up, and we'll be good to go, and I think that'll be sufficient for what we need out of an arena for this boss fight. Ideally, I would have, like, all kinds of potions and buffs ready to go. I didn't ever really build farms or anything for it, so, I don't know. Kind of a jerk like that. I'm not really going to make life any easier that way. Let me just make sure. So my heart lanterns have full coverage. Yep, even up here, which is great. So actually the heights and everything worked out well. Accidentally went and picked up more of those. If I really wanted to, I could go out of my way and make more MP statues, some star statues around. I don't know if that's necessary. We're going to see how this goes. And if I fail, well, then I fail. It's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, I'm going to need to farm the pillars several times anyway. After I've fought through them 2 or 3 times, I should be able to actually just go right back and fight the Moon Lord a second time right away. And I wanted to make sure I get all this stuff done now, because once we kill this last pillar, we're going to immediately be thrust into this boss fight, so we're not going to have any time for preparation then. Oh, you might notice also that I got rid of that big old wooden platform that was here. That was not doing anybody any favors. It was just in the way. And I figured in the frantic nature of what's going on when I fight this boss, I wanted to not have a big old wall obfuscating my ability to duck and dodge and roll. Get my dragon out. Making sure I don't miss any strange plants as I zoom across the landscape here. I just want to see where... So I'm resting at the dungeon. So we're actually going to go over the pillar and then approach it from the right. So we're going to do our usual thing where we jump off at the end of our line here. Watching out for the little marker that I made ahead of time. I'm going to hope that this godly solar eruption pretty much carries me through this boss fight. It's quite possible that on normal mode, which is what we're on, that we're going to have no problem killing it. And by the way, to the people in the comments that were worried that the series is going to end when I kill the Moon Lord, no, it's definitely not. So you don't need to say that or worry about that. What I need to do is still a lot of stuff. I need to collect all the items that I can find. And that's going to involve going to other worlds, possibly doing a bunch of stuff in expert mode. going ahead and building cool houses and stuff like that. There's going to be some fishing stuff. So lots and lots of other additions still to the series. I mean, it might signal the transition from this becoming, like, going from, like, a daily thing to, like, an every other day thing, but it might not happen yet for a while. Stop removing my freaking spawn point, please. Thank you. I was trying to close the door and I kept missing and hitting the bed. But yeah, I think for quite a while yet, maybe for another couple of weeks at least, we'll still have some daily episodes. Until I feel like I've run out of obvious stuff to do, and then from there, we'll just kind of figure it out a little at a time. Alright, so we're in Pink World now, one of the scarier of the moon pillars. Thankfully, if we die, though, we have nothing to lose. We're just going to spawn slightly over to the right. The placement of our beds really worked out very well for us. Oh, right, I forgot. This is the world where there's indestructible spells that will be chasing me down the entirety of our time here, which is awful and annoying, and I'm almost dead already. I've only barely started. There's not really a good defense from them either. Like, you can run away, and that's about all you can do. There's not a way to, like, hide and then, yeah, avoid them. So we're gonna have to kind of sit on the precipice of not being in Pinkland and then come back and forth, hopefully grabbing a few enemies each time, and eventually we'll be good to go. The dragon did not really do me anything. Oops, excuse me, wrong button. I meant to summon you. Maybe I should move this out of here so I don't accidentally do that a bunch more times. Alright, dragon, do your work. Show your work, dragon. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about locking the hotbar, or maybe, well, I did mention it, but people didn't address, or like it's not a thing. I wanted to lock the hotbar, but I also wanted to lock the mouse cursor into the screen, and that's not a thing from whatever I'm aware of. I knew that there was a way to lock the hotbar, and I just freaking forgot when I said that. And I got about 100 people tell me that that's a thing. If you guys see that, like, a lot of other people have left the same comment, I read all the comments. You don't need to say the same thing. I get it. It's no problem. I mean, I'll read them. So don't feel bad. If you feel like I'm missing something obvious, just check the other comments, and somebody probably said it already. Alright, if you guys could drop some health, that would be quite handy. So we've got like 100 different enemies that fly. Some of them make the world dark for some reason, which is fantastic. Maybe if I had an Ankh shield, that wouldn't be an issue. Maybe this is the test of if you have the Ankh shield here, and I don't, because I'm a big jerk. I should have a much easier time farming the dungeon, though, with this item in particular, because you can attack through walls with it. When the dungeon used to exist, this was not even an option. I didn't used to have the ability to attack through walls before. With this in particular. Oh, this sucks. So, the thing that I'm worried about with the Moonlord is, well, you only get one chance to fight him. He despawns if you die. So, I have to not die. And granted, I tried to give myself as many options and opportunities as possible not to die, but there's no guarantees in life, and, well, every time you die, you've got to come back and farm all this crap up again, which is, like, the worst. I don't understand why they thought that would be a good idea. I know they wanted to make it into, like, a big, exciting battle, and I guess having some things on the line to do that makes it exciting. And the fact that you can make a summon item for the Moonlord after you've fought all the pillars several times is kind of nice, I guess. But I think it should have some kind of way that it has, like, diminishing returns in the opposite direction, where after you farmed the pillars, like, 4 or 5 times, you just don't have to do it anymore. Because by that point, you've gotten all of the drops, you know, and more. And I don't know what you're going to do with the extra materials, because there's probably nothing to do with them, to be honest. And, well, it should just it should give you a drop on occasion. Like, every pillar should have a chance to drop one. Yeah, that's what it should be. Okay, I figured it out. This is the answer to this problem. Every pillar that you kill should have a chance to drop an item that functions like one of the biome keys. And basically, when you get all 4 of them, you create a permanent Moonlord summoning item that you can always use to summon the Moonlord without having to fight the pillars ever again. That would be perfect. It would address all of the things. So you'd still have to farm the pillars, but you'd know that it's not futile. It's not like you're going to be bored of it, because eventually you won't have to do it anymore. You know, having forward momentum and forward progress in these types of games is very important. And knowing that you're headed in a direction of somewhere where your life will become easier permanently is usually the impetus that we need. By the way, I'm going to move this bed because I'm very tired of unclicking my spawn point. I don't know why I didn't do this to start. That is better. Bed is better. Better. Dragon come back, use another health potion. How many health potions have I used? I'm down to 15. Alright, well, we've got like 1 or 2 minutes before the Moonlord spawns after this. I should just dip in and refill my health. It also kind of sucks that these guys just don't drop anything. Ever, right? I don't think there's like a single drop that any of these Moonlord event guys have. You can kill hundreds of them, and it's just like, alright, we're just biding our time until lines don't exist. Oh, has that happened already? I'm not seeing lines, so I think the shield is down already. Yeah, it is. Maybe that actually went a bit faster than I expected. Alright guys, this is gonna be it. When this thing pops, we gotta head back home. After, of course, we grab the nebula juice. And that would be that. Impending doom approaches. Okay, we got the nebula juice. Let's put this back on here. Teleport. Those guys will all despawn, by the way, after a short while. I might have wanted to make another bed that was, like, away from my house in case the unthinkable will happen, guaranteed. Alright, but we're gonna rest there. We're gonna go ahead and grab more health. Thankfully, everything pauses while I'm doing this. I appreciate that. And, well, we don't need to worry about inventory slots. We've got more than enough room here. We'll deal with our nebula fragments another time. Let's just re-up our buffs, and then we'll get into position. There we go. Alright, we should be good to go. I guess I could just finish off heals over here. It might not have been the worst idea to have the nurse just, like, in a little building somewhere sitting near me. Like, if I could just put her in a little side house on the edge of the world. That might have been useful, but I can do that for the next fight if that's necessary. We're going to just see this time how badly it goes, or if it does go badly. What I'll do is I'll just cut a hole out of the side of this tree and put the nurse in here. And then she'll be protected from most sides. And it should work out just fine. So we've got a few things working in our favor right now. We've got our dragon swimming around in the air. We've got an ability to attack through walls. And here we go. Moonlord approaches. So let's go through what happens with this fight. So he's got 2 hands and a middle eye. Each one of these hands has a health bar, and the middle eye has a health bar. When you kill all 3 of those things, his heart will open up, and that's the final element of the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to have to drop down and grab some hearts. And basically we're just going to cycle back and forth. We're going to go from one side to the other, grabbing hearts, hopefully not taking a ton of damage between sides. Oh, I'm going to B for buff on this one too, because I'm ridiculous and forgot to do that already. And this is the reason we wanted to have the houses. It's for the fact that when his eye opens, he shoots a laser that does a ton of damage. We're sitting at like 96 defense right now, which is pretty good. Maybe not perfect, but it's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and grab some more hearts now. I'm going to head back over to the other side. Oh, don't get hit by that. Thank you. And I feel like this is a plausible way to win this fight. It might not be guaranteed or anything, but it's possible. We're already going to just go. I'm going to take advantage of as many of these hearts as I can. I hope that they drop very frequently. I'm also just going to heal up now. I want to have the timer ticking down on that. I can't do a lot in the way of dodging most of this stuff, so I'm just doing my best to just stay here in this little building. Watch out for hands that open. And the eye is open. The dragon is thankfully hitting its mark, so that's good. Oh, I guess I don't want to stand very near those edges, because that just gave me a bunch of damage I didn't want. Oh, this sucks. Alright, the hearts are not dropping as fast as I needed. And I've got to get back up in my house. Because when we get to phase 2, well, he gets even scarier, of course, because what boss doesn't? Yeah, stay away from the walls, guys. Stay away. Alright, we've got 16 seconds on heals. I'm going to need to go grab some hearts right freaking now, though. This is where if I had the nurse to help me out, I think I'd be in a much better spot right now. And I'm thinking maybe that is where we need to go with this. Heal is up. We've recovered from the brink of death. The blood moon is rising. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen right there. And our range is pretty much perfect on that. Okay, both hands are dead. We've now got eyes. The eyes are going to show up and potentially get in our way a lot. So I've got to really spam him. tanking this much damage is ill-advised at best. I'm not doing this optimally at all. Oh, is that it? Okay, his heart is open, I think. No, his heart is not open. It is close to being open. Crap, I've got to get hearts right about now. I'm gonna die. Oh no. I'm not gonna get a heal in time. The heart is open. Oh no! Tank. Okay. I was removed from the existence of the life of worlds, but you know, we had a pretty good shot at it. I'm gonna be honest, if we had the nurse to help us there, I can pretty much guarantee I would have won that one, but still, that's kind of silly considering I already was cheesing it in a way by having those little houses up, so I wonder, like, come on, guys, what are you really supposed to do there? Is dodging really that possible? Well, we don't get anything for having gotten to this point and dying, so, well, we get the powers from the pillars, that's about it. And that's not going to get us very far. Let's go see if there's anything that I want to build out of the nebula fragments. I don't think there is, but what are our options? We got the Nebula Arcanum and the Nebula Blaze. I don't actually know what either of these do. I don't think I made these. It's like a little hand. Is that what that is? And then a... I don't know, it's like a shiny ball surrounded by clouds. I mean, this one does like a lot more damage, but I don't know what it does at all. So let's make this one for now. We'll try it out. Oh, okay, so it shoots like a really angry fireball. That's pretty cool. Also, it's like, I'm very pink right now, which is pretty cool as well. Actually, why am I this pink? Is it just because of the blood moon? It like made everything very neon and neat. I like this color scheme quite a bit. Or is it because I have this spell? Does it like change all the colors? No, I'm pretty sure it's because of the blood moon. Oh, and it homes in. That's pretty handy too. So in our future, I'm going to have to go through all of those pillars again, get ready for that, and change my setup about the arena. I might just do it off camera because, like, what's the point in going through all of that again? You guys have seen it. It's not very interesting to watch, and potentially it could be slightly tedious depending on how things go. I mean, I guess I demonstrated that I probably won't die much, considering I got through it before. But, I mean, it's not the smoothest thing either. So maybe I'll just go ahead and do that all off camera. We'll have it ready to go for the next time, and then we can challenge the Moonlord again. Hopefully with the ability to just make it happen right then and there. Really the only thing I could think of that I just needed to do was be able to get back to a full heal. I was tanking hits pretty well, and I mean, I shouldn't have been tanking them to that degree, but largely I was like staying with my head above water. It was just when we got to the last minute that I just couldn't heal as fast as I was taking damage. And when you're in this spot right here, you can't really dodge. I mean, even with the houses, which were blocking most of the damage, there's still a bunch of moves he does that go right through the houses, so I don't know. I think if I just had the one ability to go ahead and grab some health, everything would be fine. How does this do so little damage that it doesn't even kill one of those eyes in one hit? It kills the zombies in like 2 hits. I mean, I know I could reforge it, but still. Does it actually... Oh, okay, I thought it had one of those rainbow names. That's reserved for expert mode items, I believe, that rainbow through all of their possible colors. Well, I guess with that, I know we've got a blood moon, but, like, who cares? Just, I don't think there's, like, anything I want from a blood moon these days. Oh. A mimic apparently showed up in my house and dropped 11 gloves, 11 gold for me. That's pretty good. So yeah, let's open up a strange plant and we'll call it a day on the Moonlord fight. A little sad that I didn't get to get you a win on the very first try, but at the same time, it's like the final boss of the game, so I shouldn't have to feel too bad about that. I'm just repeating words, apparently, for some reason. Strange plants go in the general box. For some reason, I forgot that. I only have one today because the game was not feeling very generous for whatever reason. But still, let's see what we got. It could be something awesome. We got a glowing mushroom die. Well, we have exclusively that in our setup right now, so really not the most exciting of the dies that it could have dropped. Oh well, what can you do? I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to do before I summon the pillars again. Probably not. I mean, I could go ahead and set up a couple of other things. I could make traps and stuff, like I said, but for this particular boss, now that you've seen, well, his hands are, like, off the ground. You can't do a lot with that. I mean, unless I build a very strange setup, which, you know, is possible to do, but not really the most conducive to, getting consistent damage, which I guess is kind of the whole point of the whole thing. If you're going to spend the time, you want it to make, like, a real appreciable difference in how your game goes. But I'm sure there's 100,000 tips you guys are very eager to give me. I'll read through them as I always do, and if there's any really obvious ones that seem necessary, I'll go ahead and adapt on the fly. And hopefully we'll have a successful Moonlord fight very soon after. And then we'll go ahead and build some cool armor, and then I guess we repeat the cycle, and then we can go ahead and, you know, head off in different directions, like perhaps doing the Frost event or the Pumpkin Moon. I mean, they all have cool drops, and I would like to get all of them as well. Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, if you appreciate it or if you enjoyed the episode, if you found any useful information out of my arena building tips, feel free to chime in the comments or leave a like. I do value both of those things. What was this item I just got? I got a Zealous KO Cannon. What a random drop. This is the punching glove one, right? Yeah, I mean, this serves no purpose for me now, but it's kind of cool because I didn't have it, so... Got it from, like, some random thing in the winter biome. Neat. Even when the video's ending, sometimes the game wants to give me stuff. Well, that's what we've accomplished today. So anyway, thanks again. I will see you on the next one, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to y'all later.